Burr, 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 burr. It's called... Welcome back, I am Captain Xavier, and it started to get a little chilly here in the Pacific Northwest, so I am wearing the knitted version of my steel sallet, for those of you who are notice that sort of thing. This was made for me by Seamstress at Arms because she is awesome, and you should all go check out her channel because she is hilarious and adorable. So, it's fantastic. It keeps my nose warm and everything. All right. Questions, Q&A, packages. So many packages. First of all, I am still not quite taking commissions. I am so close to having all of my outstanding commissions from this year done, and then at the beginning of next year, I hope to start taking commissions again. Probably only one a month, though, so don't get terribly excited, and don't start emailing me now. It will not get you on the list ahead of time. It will, in fact, put you on an entirely different list. Not the good list. I have been spending the last, about 2 weeks completely reorganizing and cleaning my shop, which is why you haven't seen a lot of build videos or that sort of thing other than my usual regular episodes. It is very nearly done, and it makes me so happy that I will finally be able to really work in here. And yeah, it's going to be fabulous. And I don't know if it's the Christmas season or what, but there has been a resurgence of people asking for free stuff. I have discussed this a number of times. While I would genuinely, absolutely love to be able to afford to send free stuff to absolutely every one of my fans, I can't. So I'm not going to ship free stuff because shipping is expensive. However, if you live in the Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, general Pacific Northwest area, and you would like to do a meetup, I am willing to do that. And there will probably be free blasters involved. So, email me if you would actually like to meet. I am doing something later this week with some local kids, so, yeah. Alright, on to the questions. Random Ninja 159. How's life treating you? Nice of you to ask. A bit conflicted at the moment, actually. My job, which was, in my real job, which for those of you who don't know, I work for Dell, was meant to be a temporary position, actually, and as of today, I'm pretty sure it's now permanent. And while that's very nice and stress-relieving to now have my job secure, the reason it's secure was not so nice, and so that's kind of hard to be happy about job security when it came at the expense of somebody else. So, other than that, pretty good. Saw Star Wars last night. Well, technically this morning, 1:30, got done at 4. I'm exhausted. It may show. We'll see. Voidwalker, what wood would you recommend to finish the rival musket stock? Well, it kind of depends on what you're going for. You can use any wood and then use the appropriate stain to make it pretty much look like any other wood. The grain will be a little off for people who can tell the difference. So it kind of depends on what you're going for. Most actual muskets will use a hardwood, oak or hickory or something, maple or something that's very hard. Because of all the stress that it's going to be taken under, and the fact that they often used it as a bludgeoning weapon. So you'd want to use a hard wood. If you're not planning to actually hit anybody with it, and since it's not going to have to actually soak up the recoil from firing a musket ball, you can get away with something light, like pine or whatever is cheap and available in your area, and then just stain it to make it look good. Christopher Alden, when is your birthday in February? Every year. But seriously, February 19th is my birthday. Ford for life. What is your favorite game on any system? Currently, Elite Dangerous. It is pretty much my favorite game that has ever been produced. I would love for them to come out with a Star Wars equivalent. So kind of a Star Wars themed version of Elite Dangerous would be absolutely fantastic. I kind of doubt they ever will, but that would be something pretty cool. It used to be, I had a whole bunch of games I really, really liked. X-Wing, TIE Fighter, probably still TIE Fighter, honestly, would also be one of my favorites. All that's for PC, by the way. Though, Elite Dangerous has been ported now to at least PlayStation. I think it got ported to PlayStation, and I'm pretty sure it was also ported to Xbox. So. Dragon Blaster 10,000. You have said that you wouldn't use 180 motors, but would you use windowed 180 covers as a way to show off LEDs that are in the blaster? For a personal build, no, on 2 crimes. 1, I don't put LEDs in my builds, and 2, I don't like clear motor covers because there's nothing particularly exciting about the motors. Though with the new Neo motors, the Neo Rhino and the Neo Hellcats, they're pretty enough. I could see somebody really genuinely wanting to show them off. My soldering isn't pretty enough to want to show off the back of the blasters much. And I may have finally been talked into using 180s. My reasons for them was that I didn't want something that powerful, but apparently they're only actually that powerful if you use high crush cages, which I don't plan to do. So they don't have that much more speed, they just have more torque, so they spin up faster. But if you then use a high crush cage, you'll get a lot more power out of them. So we'll see how I actually feel about that. I picked up some Fang motors from the Foam Blast ladies while they were up here for a war, and I may end up using those. So we'll see what happens. Bob 20,078. Do you think it's possible to make a single flywheel cage using gears and a motor bigger than a 180? Yes. Yes, I think it would definitely be possible. What with us having the ability to build spaceships and all. I don't know how effective it would be. You are going to lose some energy in that whole gear train, though hypothetically, if they are linked properly, they should be spinning at the same speed, though I don't know if you're ever going to get as good a performance or as consistent a performance as you would from two motors. Though hypothetically, once again, if they're actually geared, they should be more perfectly tuned than two individual motors would be, potentially. So it's definitely, I think, worth looking into. Quindarius Gooch. At the wars I attend, I am a light runner, and after Christmas, I hope to get some real gear. In your opinion, would this combination be effective? Condor tactical belt, double stack, double mag pouch in the back of my waist, and a dump pouch you reviewed, whatever holster I'm using, and a single point sling. Yes, I think that would actually be extremely effective. Definitely incredibly light. Especially if the holster's on the belt rather than on your thighs, because having anything on your legs obviously is going to slow you down. And even having a vest is slightly binding. So if it's all on the belt, that could actually, be very, very effective for somebody who's a very light player. Domovo, do you have a Boomco loadout? No. 2. So far, what was your best tag? I think the most notable tag that I can think of, because of that it actually had that one tag had a very serious effect, was in one of the HVZs that we played where the humans, both sides, the humans and the zombies, were trying to gather all of the MacGuffins in order to activate a bunker so that they would survive the impending nuclear blast. And we got our base activated, and they managed to steal one of the MacGuffins. And if they had gotten the MacGuffin back to their base and activated their base, our base would have then been deactivated, and there would not have been enough time for us to get it back and reactivate our base, and the humans would have been annihilated. And so I charged out and attempted to get the person who'd made off with it, but they were fairly far away, and I ended up pulling my strife and doing an angled shot up the hill at them and tagged them right in the back, and they went down. I got to the MacGuffin, held the MacGuffin until the bomb went off. I died, but everybody else, the humans, survived. So a glorious death and a glorious shot that ultimately resulted in a win for our team. And 3, so far, what is the worst time you've been tagged out? Probably at the WWU HVZ that we recently went to up north. There was an interesting game scenario they had where there were 2 immortal zombies, essentially. They were completely impervious to everything, but if you got a hold of the controller, you could then control that zombie and send it to go attack the other teams. Because they did HVZ, but there were 3 human teams fighting against each other in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, which just seems ineffective, but definitely something that humans would do. And we got a hold of one of the controllers, sent that super zombie after the other team, one of the other teams, and then another team got a hold of the other one and sent it after us. It came after us. We had to abandon the fortification that we were defending. And as we were bolting for it, a zombie came up from behind me while I was running down a hill in the snow. He slipped, shoved me, I slipped, it hit hard, tweaked my back. It was not good. I was pretty much done for the rest of the day. Nobody at fault. I mean, snow, I knew what I was getting into when I went and played HVZ in the snow, well, an old broken man. So, didn't end up tweaking my back, anything horrible. I didn't end up having to, visit minor care or anything like that. Just took a lot of ibuprofen when I got home, and I recovered. So, yeah. Tim Kessick, cats or dogs? I prefer cats. Dark Fiend X, what is your favorite Nerf branded blaster of all time? The Stampede. Still my favorite. Not necessarily the most effective, but it was the first electronic blaster that I bought when I first got into HVZ. It's what IRA is built out of, is that first one. And it's still the one that I really like. Missed. Axe Factor 220. When will you and what will you be doing to the regulator? No idea. And no idea. AKA Gainsey. Do you have a white-out Maverick yet? And do you still want one for your collection? I do not. I have the white Maverick, but I do not yet have the white-out Maverick. They are subtly different in their paint schemes. And I now have my collection nicely displayed in the rafters, and it is still missing the white-out one, which is just tragic. The Shadow Philosopher. What is your favorite starfighter within the Star Wars universe? The TIE Defender. No questions asked. And what is your favorite class of starship? Imperial Destroyer. I like the Star Destroyers. The Ferned Flyer. What is the best version of the Recon Retaliator? Based on what criteria? What am I judging? I like the color of the gear up, obviously, because that's my color scheme. But obviously the XD Recons have the best performance. So it really kind of depends what you're going for. You can take the internals out of one and put them in any of the other ones, and so it, doesn't really matter. And you replace all the returnals with aftermarket stuff. So the shells themselves don't have any real difference. So kind of depends on what you like. Fox Nobu. How would you feel if someone were to send you a Crimson Longshot? I would feel all warm and fuzzy inside. That would be absolutely epic. Don't know what I'd do with it, because I've never actually seriously modded a Longshot. If somebody sent me a Crimson one, I would feel compelled to mod it quite profusely. Yeah. I'm actually slowly but surely putting together kind of a Crimson loadout, so that'd be kind of neat. Sammy Saslow. What kind of setup do you use in a Strife with IMRs? Motors, switches, wiring, etc. Basically, what you can think of IMRs is each IMR that you put in is a cell. So 2 IMRs are the equivalent of a 2S LiPo. 3 IMRs are equivalent of a 3S LiPo. 4 IMRs is equivalent of a 4S LiPo. It is not an exact equivalent. LiPos are better. They hold more energy. They have a better discharge rate and all of that. But as far as what motors and switches you need for using IMRs, it depends on how many IMRs you want to run. If you run just 2, you should look at any motor that is set up for a 2S LiPo. So the Michelle 2 motors. Lots of other 2S options, the Honey Badgers, things like that, can run on a 2S LiPo. Anything that's roughly 6-7 volts. If you want to run 3, then you're looking at your Rhinos or your Hellcats or anything that would normally run on a 3S LiPo. And 4, you're really getting into serious power at that point. And you're pretty much going to need to use, again, the same switches and the same wiring that you would use for those kinds of upgrades. The 2S, you can pretty much get away with stock switches and motors, but when you get to 3, you really need to upgrade them, or you're going to risk burning out your switches, or not likely to burn out your wires, but it's not worth the risk. Where you really get into risk is if it jams and you're pulling all that juice through the wires. Then they can heat up and problems can happen. But for the most part, yeah, treat each cell like a cell. Blake Hudson, have you heard of the SpongeBob Broadway musical? I had not, and I feel that my life is somehow slightly lessened for having heard of it. Christopher Hall, where do you park your car if you work in your garage? On the street in front of my house? Sometimes at the door to my garage, because it's in an alley and there's a concrete slab that I can just park on. But it's rained so much here and the alley's kind of muddy, so it got nasty and I quit doing it. Kirkastani Soldier 777. Why is Singapore always so early with new Nerf guns? Because they're closer to where they're manufactured. And they live in an area where copyright laws are more of suggestions. And finally, Stormtrooper 1138. Captain, if you had a fully operational Star Destroyer complete with crew, a Stormtrooper garrison, TIE fighter pilots, shuttle, and walkers, what would you do with it? Well, quite honestly, I'd use it to explore the galaxy, because that much firepower, you could just take over the world, and that is just an administrative nightmare, and I have no desire to do that. Plus, I don't think the human race is ready for that. So yeah, I would go off in exploring. The big question, of course, at that point would be fuel. I have no idea what fuels a Star Destroyer, or where the fuel can be gotten, or whether there's any refinery necessary. Or if you can just, I don't know, scoop energy directly out of a sun like you can in Elite Dangerous. So that would be kind of a concern for deep space exploration. But I would love to go forth and try to find intelligent life. Seems as there doesn't appear to be any here on Earth. Yeah. Definitely wouldn't stick around here. Alright. I have one letter and a boatload of packages that I'm super excited about. So let's do this thing. Alright, well, I have a letter and a bunch of packages, some of which I'm super excited for because I know what's in them, and others I'm super excited for because I have no idea what's in them, which is what makes this exciting. But we are going to start with a letter from Nathan Boyd. Dear Captain Xavier, I hope this finds you well and in good health. I was wondering if it would be possible to put a stock attachment point on a Sentinel to compensate for the rather small stock it already has. Hope you continue being awesome. Well, I certainly plan to continue being awesome. Starting by showing off this. This is my Sentinel, and I don't have a stock attachment point on it, but I have added the stock from a Slingfire. It quite nicely, the way I cut it, it fit right onto the original point on the outside on this, and the inside on the lower, and then I just put in some screws, and it works absolutely beautiful, and is now exactly the right length for me, and it is very comfortable. But looking at it, I do not think it would be difficult at all to add a stock attachment point right here. If you cut it off here, you could then probably put a stock attachment point on quite easily. I don't have another Sentinel, and I don't intend to cut this one up for that purpose. But if I ever get my hands on another Sentinel, I will definitely try that, because that is an excellent idea. That doesn't leave for a lot of stock. I mean, you could obviously do a Raider stock or the Recon Mark II, which would actually probably look really cool. So if I get my hands on another Sentinel, I will give it a try. The Curator might have some. I think he had a few. And I might be able to trade him. There were a couple blasters that I acquired recently that he wanted, and he wanted to get a Slingfire for one of his nieces or nephews. So I might be able to trade a Sentinel out of him with a couple of those and maybe some cash. Who knows? So stay tuned for that. I think that is a fantastic idea. And thank you very much for the letter. I have been well. My back has not been bothering me, and I had a nasty flu a couple of weeks ago, but nothing terrible. All right. Packages. First one I got, I actually already opened this one. I received a Select Fire Strife Kit from NF Strike. So I will be putting that into my continued review Strife build that I'm putting all the various Strife bits that people have been sending me, because they've been sending me cages and motors and switches and all of that stuff, and I suspect this will actually be more for that. So that is what that'll be going into, slowly building myself a Select Fire Strife War Primary Blaster. So that will definitely be going into that. Possibly this weekend. We'll see how busy I end up. Speaking of that, we're going to take a look at this, because I think I know what's in it. Sure enough, worker stuff. Starting with the Vector Kit. Oh yes! Oh yes, I finally broke down and asked them if they'd send me a Vector Kit, and they said yes. So this will be going with that Select Fire. I will have a Select Fire War Strife Vector in the relatively near future. They already sent me the stock. I think I got that last week. So I've got the stock, now I've got the main kit, I've got the artifact motor flywheel wheel kit in there, cage, and then I'll be putting that Select Fire thing in. Slowly but surely, this thing's gonna get built. It's gonna be good. These are coming to me from Banggood. So some of it's come from Lytake, some from NF Strike, some from Banggood. All together, I'm gonna be building this magnificent blaster. More worker swag! We've got more cosmetic parts for that same Strife. I think the only part of the kit I don't have yet is the top rail. They did not appear to have the top rail when I checked the site. So we've got the gap fillers on the side to allow you to put rail on there. We've got... I don't know which spring this one's for off the top of my head. I will have to check the website and figure out which... I asked for a bunch of spring kits, but they don't seem to have the label on them all. I believe this one is for the Cyclone Shock. That one might be for the Sling Fire then. Ah! Very nice. The bolt kit. The bolt action kit that allows you, it puts a bolt onto, you know, anything that's got a top rail slide kind of deal, and turns it into a kind of a more bolt action blaster. This will be going on my Crimson Recon for now, until I decide which pump kit I want it, because I did get a barrel for it, so I can't actually put a pump kit on it. And then this one will probably go onto my other Crimson Recon as a pistol setup. Another spring kit. Again, not sure which one. It doesn't actually say on here which one it's for, but I do have the numbers so I can look it up online and then figure out which ones are supposed to be going to which. And it looks like another cosmetic section. Yep, another Strife cosmetic bit. So that is lovely. So, all sorts of fabulous worker swag from Banggood to put onto builds and blasters. Do need to get the Picatinny rail bits that attach onto the Vector kit. That's the only thing that is going to be missing at this point, is the Picatinny rail on the top and the sides. So that is going to be a fantabulous build, and I cannot wait. Okay, let's take a look at this one. At first thought, I thought this box was actually empty. But I think there's just something very light or small in it, and I'm just entirely too curious. Oh my God! A gift from Chris Traweek. He sent me a Jane Cobb hat! That is so cool! I'm putting it on. Rather cunning, don't you think? I have the coolest fans. You guys are so cool. Chris Traweek, you sir are awesome. Ah, that is so cool. Okay, let's take a look at... We'll take a look at this big one. Amazon Fulfillment Service. We'll see what's in here. It's... Oh, ho, 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 ho. Who did it come from? Who did it come from? I have been sent the Mediator. Captain X, happy holidays, stay fabulous. Tybeek. Tybeek? Taybeek. I have no idea. Diphthongs. What do I do? Tybeek. Velocity blasters. Oh, and a Lego figure. Epic. So cool. Well, we know what's going to happen to this. All right, gotta open the minifig. It's in the rules. All right, who could it be? It could be the Queen, and that would be pretty cool, though it doesn't feel like it. Could be the Satyr. I wouldn't mind that winged dude. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's the best one. Yes. He's not even on the cover. It is the Angry Bear Knight, I believe. Yes. Yes. He's got shoulder armor. Very grumpy. And I did not realize that his mace was 2 parts and slightly rubbery. Well, that is just fantastic. An excellent addition to my collection. I think I've got I don't know if I even have this guy, so that is super cool. Most excellent. So, that is fabulous. This is fabulous. You, sir, are fabulous. However you pronounce your name. I'm terribly sorry if I'm butchering it. Sweet. All right, let's take a look at this one. Hi, Cap. Enjoy the gift from Jomo Letman. Can I take a K26? Merry Christmas, and my friend, salute. So this is from my patron. He has sent me the Helios. So, yeah, I think we have a whole episode of Can I Take a K26 lined up now between just the stuff today. That is going to be awesome. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's basically a bolt action, a side bolt action Apollo, which should make a number of things easier. Pump grips should be a little bit easier, plus it's just more ergonomic in general. My only question is, of course, is it ambidextrous? Because if it's not, well, I will be terribly, terribly disappointed. But it probably will be. Nerf has been really good about ambidexterity, so hopefully the bolt goes all the way through like it does on pretty much all bolt-action blasters. But you never know. We shall see. Awesome. Thank you, Jomo. This is going to make for an epic episode. Yes. All right. Let's get into the big ones. We have this one from Brandon Chan. Ooh, we got weird stuff. I love it. So we got a letter. Hello, Captain Xavier. Don't have a lot to say. You're awesome. Here's some swag. I have a second box for Walcom since I wasn't sure he'd check his P.O. box. Items. All sorts of stuff. All right. We've got the priming handle from some kind of an Exploders blaster. Excellent. That is, oh, it's slightly angled, and it would definitely easily integrate into. That is beautiful. Thank you for that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We've got tiny pop rocket thingies. For, I assume, for an absolver for ire. I could make it fire multiple ones easily. Yes, 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 yes. And it comes with, yep, barrel stuff. That, yes, 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 I believe so. We have some kind of a foam boomerang. Does it actually work? And it's quite tasty. That is quite tasty. This is an awesome haul. There's so many things in here I'd never even considered. The marshmallows. I love the marshmallows. All right. So there we have it. That is pretty snazzy. All right, one package left from Ryan Engelstead. So glad to be almost caught up on commission so I can start doing things I want, like making cool blasters for this family that have given me so many cool stuff. Captain X, good day, sir. Hope the day finds you well. It definitely is. I've gotten so much cool stuff today. Enclosed, Swift Justice as discussed. Yes. And a Power Ranger box for Walcom S7. I think I've seen him wear a matching shirt in some of his videos. And Legos, of course. All the best. Oh, yes. I think Walcom will absolutely love this as essentially a dump pouch for darts. And yes, he does have a Pink Ranger shirt, so that is fantastic. More cool stuff for Walcom. Ah, original bag Legos. I don't even want to open them. I just want to keep it. And finally, funny papers. Finally have a Swift Justice. I missed these when they were in stores. This one has had some abuse, which is fabulous. I like a good war-torn look. It's got a little puncture there, but the tip is in good shape, so that's really all that truly matters. These were, I believe, a Target exclusive, and I saw them briefly and didn't grab one and was kicking myself because they have now disappeared off the planet. You can't find them on eBay, on Amazon, on anywhere. And so I went onto the Nerf buy trade sell and asked if anybody had one that I could acquire, and he had one. He said there was a little beat up, and I said I couldn't care less. I intend to beat it up some more because this is just such a beautiful looking, I mean, the handguard, and it fits. It's not too small for my monkey hands. That is awesome. It fits perfectly. And it's an orange blade, so it matches my colors. I might add a little bit more black, but I probably won't. I will probably keep it just as it is and make some kind of a sheath for it or figure out how to carry it on my loadout because I just love the look of the handguard, the knuckle duster. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for the Legos. Walcom will love his lunchbox. Once again, I have to say, you guys spoil me so much, and I love it. You guys sent me so much cool stuff. There are so many good video potentials here. Marshmallow launchers and new absolvers and K26 episodes for the Mediator and the Helios and stuff. This thing, it's going to be epic, glorious. Next year, I'm hoping to get a lot more organized. This year was kind of flying by the seat of my pants with work not necessarily being permanent. That was kind of a stressful thing to have to deal with, constantly thinking, could I be out of a job next week? So having that removed, getting my shop fully organized, really kind of settling into the whole YouTube thing, because believe it or not, I've only been around for a little over a year. So still kind of ironing out the kinks there. Hope to actually get to some big events next year. I'm probably not going to go to End War, but there is another national event that they're holding closer to me that I am hoping to get to. There will be news on that in the near future. And I hope to probably host some events locally. I'd like to start another Nerf War specifically for kids. I ran those in Lewiston, where it was just every week I ran a Nerf War at the local big wooden castle jungle gym park and brought loads of blasters, and just anyone who wanted to show up and play could play. And it was a lot of fun. And the problem is I don't know anybody here with kids, but I'm working on that. Next Thursday, I'm having a couple of kids come over to mod some blasters, learn to mod, and get some blasters from the ones that Sparky Santos sent me. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to segue that into hosting at least possibly a monthly Nerf War once the weather turns good, unless we can find an indoor venue, which would be fabulous. Because I have so many blasters, I would like them to be getting more use. So that's what to look forward to next year. Gosh, you guys spoil me. There's so much cool stuff here. Like the Helios and the Mediator. I thought they were cool. I wanted to try them out, but they were, I generally don't buy a lot of new stuff. I generally buy used stuff because it's a lot cheaper, and I'm not rich. So getting those is really, really cool because the Meteor just came out and the Helios just came out, and I'll be able to do the K26 episodes on those. That'll probably be next week's. The vintage one will probably get pushed off just so I can get that one done before the Christmas break. So thank you guys so much for all of this. So much cool stuff. If you want your question answered, if you have questions that I didn't get covered this week, put them in the comments of this one. I will try to get to them next week. And thank you guys for watching.